there's no, there won't be a point in their lives that they will say like, well, there shouldn't be. Like, now I know everything, now I don't need to learn anymore because now I'm good enough. No, this is not ideal. So this trigger, this feeling, I still have lots of things to learn. So this is the seed I think they should cultivate. And we have to guide them to feel this way. So yeah, being humble and also getting organized, developing some discipline, because of course when we learn a language, it involves the same discipline people need when they like working out at the gym, for example. Well, we all know these aims, they require discipline. So learning language is not different anyhow whatsoever. So and also I believe that in times like this, it's very important to keep in mind that nowadays there's no geographical barrier, there's no physical impediment. I mean, we can learn English wherever we are. I've known many teachers since I started working as an English teacher who had never been abroad before. Some of, including myself, because when I went to a country which the English is the official language, I had been teaching for 4 years. So you see, like people shouldn't rely on this assumption. So just when I go to another country, just when I spend some months or years in a country where English is the first language, will I be able to be a better teacher? No, that's not true, because it takes time, effort, and we can have this immersion wherever we are. Nowadays, we have huge quantity, we have lots of material which are available for free. So, well, I dare say that, yeah, it's possible to learn wherever you are. So if you want it, if you really want it, you will get your fluency, and you will keep on studying, and you will be better and better throughout the years. Yeah, and the constant update. And I got really glad when I heard from Renata that they thought of me to be here with you today because they see me as a teacher who is constantly studying and who really goes for the continuing professional development. Because this is what I really believe that will make me a better and better teacher. I will be more useful for my students if I study more, if I improve my own fluency, because of course, as I said before, it's a non-stop process. So I have to keep on studying. I have to study pronunciation and vocabulary and grammar and lots of things, and also teaching methodology. So there are always many things there to study. And so we have to surround ourselves with other teachers who also have the same goal. We have to have these good partnerships, to be friends with people who have the same intentions. And then we'll be able to share experience with them. We will learn from this interaction. And well, fortunately, I have met many wonderful teachers. I keep in touch with them on a daily basis. I can say on a daily basis because I talk to teachers every day. I receive many messages from other teachers who ask me for some advice, and I always feel great and honored when people think of me, because I've also received lots of help from other teachers. So this is like a chain. We have to keep it going. So we are helped, and we also help other teachers, other students, and well, this is a movement that can't stop. We have to find these good people to study with us. And well, I believe Instagram has had its importance in these last months, I would say, because I got more active there in the last months. It was not long ago that I started posting things or only interacting, sometimes visiting other teachers. I think that by keeping a professional account, we open important doors for us, because we are able to see teachers offering courses, and we also learn from their posts, and we can also spread the word, because we can share about other courses that are happening, and courses that I released there for free. Like this one today, we're meeting for free, like there's no cost. And I think there are many opportunities like this one. Teachers who are working and sharing their beliefs, their studies on YouTube, conferences like Prastiso. It's a very strong community, and I also think that my relation with other teachers got better. It was strengthened by this community. So I really think that we should look for these people who are in the same direction, who have aims in common. Dynamic classes, well, we have to think that the way we interact with our students in our classroom, well, be it in person or now that we are working remotely with the online classes, but their interaction with us has to be very positive. They have to see it as a pleasant moment for them. Otherwise, they won't find the same interest in studying at home when they are without us. So depending on how we plan the class, we will have this all this direction to their studies in their outside hours. What I mean is, when we have our lesson plans, we have to make sure that we create different activities, different opportunities for them. And also thinking of the interactions, because depending on the way that we pair them up, that we separate them in groups, it will affect their well-being. So it's very important to plan it carefully, like who will be the students we will put together, and how many opportunities they will be given, like to work in groups, in pairs, in trios. But they have to move, and also because we have to think of their attention span, because we naturally turn off after a while. So we have to make sure that we keep students active. So assigning homework, for example, that shouldn't be done in the end of the class, because their energy is already there, like at the door, like they want to leave, because they are already with their mind set to something else. So why not tell them, assign them homework while they're still active and while they're still in the rhythm, the pace that you wanted. So there should be planning for every single moment of our class. And this is also important. And again, I will reinforce this idea that our interaction with them in class affects how motivated they will be when they leave our classes. This is very relevant. Suggesting material. This is a very interesting part. And I think that this is how you start passing the responsibility and putting yourself as a person who mediates their contact with English. Because they have to see themselves as people who are, well, they are responsible for their own learning, so they shouldn't be so dependent on us. They have to create these mechanisms and find their places to study, their favorite ones. And I will share now with you a page that I created to collect some pages that I recommend, because students and also teachers, they sometimes ask me, so what website is good for this, and that? And then I decided some years ago, I created this page, and once in a while I add more things there. Well, instead of just saying, I will show you. Well, this is how it looks like, but I will stop sharing this thing here, and well, hopefully you can see this other screen. Yeah, studying online, have fun with this toolbox. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So this page here, I separated some columns, apps and websites, and here they have some suggestions to keep working at home. You see, you have many, some are for pronunciation, others for listening. And then, well, BBC Learning English, they will have lots of material on grammar, vocabulary, all the skills. Well, here we have the traditional apps like Duolingo and Memrise. Envid is very good if you want to recommend some videos about the contents you've been working with them. Games. So here they have some games to play, like, and I really think this is a good opportunity, even for teachers to get organized and to show them that all the pages that you've been working with them in class, they're here for them, like in one place. So if they really liked to practice, lyrics training, for example, is something that I like to use in the beginning of the classes while we are waiting, even the online ones, while we are waiting for the others to come. Because then they are working together to complete. There's an option, you don't only need to type. There's an option that you can choose among four words that they put there. Volscreen is also very interesting. It has some videos. Well, Kahoot, students love Kahoot. But what I tell my private students, for example, because I have, well, besides the classes that I have at the English school where I work, I also have some private students. So I always say, you can open Kahoot at home, like even on your own. You can work there, you can find some nice exercises that will work as a quiz. This one is for vocabulary. And then I recommend some channels that I like on YouTube, TED Talks. This one is excellent. Learning How to Study. He has excellent videos. Well, studying for exams. I prepare some students for Cambridge exams, and here there are some pages with lots of exercises to practice. This first is my favorite. This part here, this column on exercises, here, just here on the first page, they have access to million of other pages, and they are organized by levels of difficulty, and also by grammar topics, vocab. It's wonderful. This one is really good. I've been using this website for years, and I always recommend it for other teachers and students. Dictionaries, my favorite online dictionaries, they can find them all here. Podcasts. Well, this part is still under construction. Writing, some websites to help them on writing. There are many universities that help students by offering free courses on writing, reading, and so on. Yeah, I'm always updating this page here. And I think every teacher can have something like that. Well, I'll share mine with you, and you can use it, no problem. I'll put it here on the chat, okay? Ta-da! Okay, so going back to the presentation, here. So this was the page. Homework, yay! I've had to rethink the way I see homework, because when I started to work as an English teacher, I didn't assign homework to my teenage groups. I just had homework for the adults, because I think that adults are more focused, they know what they want, and they're there, and they're fine about doing homework. And teenage students, they have lots of homework from school, and wow, they feel overwhelmed sometimes. But then when I came here to Spain, the context here is different. And well, in Curitiba, yeah, I say Curitiba, my hometown. In Curitiba, I was the coordinator, I was the pedagogical coordinator, so I didn't have anyone to report to see, like, it was possible for me to do the way I wanted, but here things work differently. So here I had to assign homework. I had no other option. So I had to make peace with it, you know, like I had to see it as something positive. I started to study about homework, like the benefits. And then, well, we have to agree that homework has its role, its importance in reinforced learning, honing skills, and students have the chance to practice what they learned in the classroom, and also noticing language, because while they're studying, sometimes some patterns, they recognize the patterns. Some things that we talked in the classroom, but then, you know, sometimes people start talking or they get distracted, but when they're doing homework, they're alone. So they can see things that they hadn't seen before. So yeah, it has its important role. But one thing that we have to keep in mind is the quantity of homework we assign. So how much homework should be assigned? What kind of exercise? I believe it's also better to do some of them in class to show them how it works, because then they will know what they are expected to do. And also, it's very important to give it some sequence. So the next day you have to review it, because they have to feel that you are worried about their work. So we have to see if they had problems or not, to work, to do their homework. And so yeah, I'm really fine now about homework. I think it is important that I recognize it, and this is something that in which I got more mature. So yeah, homework is important for they're getting better, they're improving their skills. And then here it's a screenshot of a Google Doc file. I like to do this kind of activity with my students from the very first beginning. It works as needs analysis. So they will think of the things that they want to improve. So these ideas that are listed here, they were not mine. They weren't mine. So my students came up with these ideas. There are 12. So if you, I think I can share the presentation with you all later. And then you can access and we'll see. But my students agreed on including these things that they believe as positive for their own learning. And then I shared this file with them. And another thing, well, I made sure everything was working. This is why you see here on July 6th. And I really reviewed it. I checked if it's fine there. Because as they also have the access, you see. And Google Doc files, they are also nice for students to work on their writing, because they can write a text and then you can make some comments on this part on the right. You can keep on talking to the students and they will, well, they will work on this draft and they will correct things. You can provide them with feedback using Google Docs, and it's really nice. What else? Oh, no, I can keep presenting, sorry. Well, by doing that, if your students are working on a Google Doc file with you, if they have to register things there, you will be able to encourage them to create their own bank. Like they will have the words that they studied in the previous classes. It's important for them to see that they're learning things and things will be there. It's like registering, like a portfolio somehow. Well, and developing autonomy is key. Again, emphasizing this idea that we teachers, we have to guide them to feel responsible for their own learning. They have to find ways, possibilities for them to have this will, to have this initiative, like, I want to study, I will open my notebook here, I will separate this time for that, because I know that in order to learn English faster, I have to dedicate some time, like, on a regular basis. So I have to keep in touch with it, listening to songs. Well, as I showed here on the file, they know all that, like watching series. They know that they have to keep in touch with English in a nice way. And well, my friend Henrique is here with us. He's attending the presentation, and we had a music project together. We wrote about it on Richmond blog, and then you can check it there later. And it was a pleasure to think of something like that with him. And yeah, because you see, music is something that everybody likes. I would dare say. Well, most of people like. Teenagers, they tend to enjoy. So we thought of a project to keep registering words from songs, working on lyrics, but it could have been done with books, magazines, blogs. So, well, setting goals. It is important to do that. Well, we have to do it ourselves. Like as teachers, we have our goals. We have to write things down to have clear where we want to go. Because if we don't have a destination, this is not mine. It's a quotation. I don't believe where. I don't remember. I don't remember where I got it from. But this is the thing. Like if you don't know where you want to get, any way serves. And well, the what we want to encourage students to do is that they set themselves some goals to be achieved in the long term and also in the short term, because they will be able to realize how much they've already learned if we give them opportunities for that. And then let's think of assessment. So how many tests will you have with your students? What kind of tests? So are these tests really fair? Are you testing the knowledge you've worked with them? What will be the consequences of these tests in their studying? So we had to think of all of this. And also, after the results from this assessment thing, how will you work? How will you provide them with feedback?
I don't know, please tell me.
It will be very important to find some time to provide them with feedback. Like it can be individually. For example, at the school where I work, I have to make it official. I have to write every parent, and then my students will also read it. But I also like to talk to them about the results. I think it's very important if they know the areas that they've performed better, the things. It's nice if they realize, if they perceive, these are the areas that are
Shut up.
my strengths. But then it's also nice if you point out, if you indicate the areas where there's still room for improvement.
La 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 la.
There's a person who is singing. I will ask you not to do it, please. Thank you. Okay, coming back here. Coming back here. Last but not least, I think that studying techniques are also important. We can find some time for that. We can separate some lessons to show them how the Pomodoro technique works, spaced repetition, the Feynman technique. So why not take a text or a video or an audio file. It can be through a lesson plan that aims for reading skills or even for listening. But we can show them these techniques once in a while. We can talk about it. So the Pomodoro technique, this one, well, the idea is to separate 25 minutes, and then you would have 5 minutes as a break, and you go back to study more. But of course, it varies from person to person. So there are people who will feel more comfortable to study like 40 minutes in a row and then take a 10-minute break. It depends on each person. as for the spaced repetition, it's very important that we show our students that studying on a daily basis for 30 minutes is much better than cramming. So if they study like one day before the exam, that's not ideal. They will get information, they will work on their knowledge and take it to the long-term memory if they do it in this spaced repetition idea. So studying little by little, reviewing things. So according to this spaced repetition technique, you will see the words, the grammar, well, the knowledge you have there to be worked. And then on the same day, you will review this thing. And then 7 days later, you will see these things again. And then 30 days, you will study them again. So this is much better than studying everything straight away and then do the exam, for example. And the Feynman technique encourages people to teach each other. So according to this scientist, people really learn something when they have this experience of teaching, explaining something to another person. So they will think it better, they will organize in a way that they will, well, it will improve their own learning. So as teachers, we can also encourage these activities. We can separate some time from our class and our students can take over. This is very positive. And now I will, well, I'll give you some time to ask questions, and this is what I had to present.
Thank you very much. It was really, really, really nice. Thank you for sharing your experience and showing us some possibilities for our students and for the public. Some ideas that they can, study alone. So one person, she asked if you could share those information, but you already did, I think. Yeah.
Adriana is here. Hey, Adri.
So Carla is saying, in my opinion, Pomodoro is the most useful. Yeah.
It's nice. If people who have problems, attention problems, for example, it really helps. And
we don't have any questions. So people, if you have any questions, just write it on the chat box. But we have some compliments for you. Everybody enjoyed it a lot. And we have, for example, Deborah, she was asking for you to share the link, and you did. Ilka, she said, learning a foreign language is an endless process. Yes. And Michelle, we can see that she is always studying. She's always improving her skills, and she's always everywhere. In all their courses, she's there. And I think it's good for our students from the university and from people who are here just listen to us to have this motivation of studying alone, finding herself or himself, finding their way of learning alone, and it's really important. We have also Lucielle. She said, when we share our journeys, the students can realize that if they keep it going, they really can learn English. That's true. Yeah, because it's not an easy process. An easy process like learn English in 30 days.
True.
It's not like that. Yeah. So, does anyone want to talk to her? Like, put the microphone on and say something.
I read that Lucielle asked me about my journey. Nice. So, well, I started as an English teacher in 2011, and I have a beautiful story because I studied at an English school there in Curitiba. And then I have a degree in biology. And I completed the degree in 2005. I had some work. I worked as a biology. At the time, I worked with elaborating material. I used to work at this publisher, and then I would review video classes, and it was mostly as a freelancer. But yeah, and I also produced some material for their website and for their books. But then I wanted to improve my English skills, and I was having so much fun because I've always loved to study English. I've always loved it, and I kept on studying just because I was very curious about it, and then I realized that I was having so much fun. Like I was so happier working with English rather than biology. And the other thing that I noticed is that by working as an English teacher, I would like this close contact. I like to be able to work with small groups because then I'm able to see my students' development better rather than. But I know, and I admire a lot teachers who work with 30, 35 students at the same time, and oof. And I imagine how hard it is because you have to pay attention to all these people at the same time, and uh, having many groups at the same time and having like 60, 70 students and being worried about all of them, like I know because we get involved. So yeah, this is how I started as an English teacher, but I never stopped attending courses. This is something I've done since the very start. um, and I attend workshops with teachers in Brazil, and I have friends here in Spain who ask me, but why don't you take courses here in Spain with English teachers who are here? And then I say, because Brazilian community, the teachers in Brazil are very motivated, and we are hardworking people. And you see, our community of teachers is so beautiful, and I love to keep in touch with all these teachers. So I've made friends while studying. So I've met many wonderful teachers, and I like to keep in touch with them. So that's why I still attend lots of courses with Brazilian teachers who teach English. And yeah, that's it.
That's nice. And also you have some proficiency tests, which is very important for your career. Do you want to say
Yeah.
something about that?
Yeah, I have all the certificates for teachers that Cambridge offered, like the TKTs, the CELTA, and now I will start another course, which is like a master. Deep TESOL is like Delta, which is like the following step. After CELTA, Delta, and Deep TESOL is equivalent. So yeah, I will start it in October. I'm very enthusiastic about it, and yeah, it will be a year with little free time, but this is something I'm used to. And I really like it because I think this is the way it is. And you see, it's also a way we have to fight against native speakerism because here in Spain, this problem is very serious. There are schools who like to hire native teachers, and they are clear about it. I've got many emails as a reply because I sent lots of CVs, and then people would say, your CV is very good, thank you for sending, but we are looking for native teachers. So I've missed many opportunities because of a passport, but I know that I've been making my efforts, and I've been working on qualification so that I won't have this problem anymore. There will be serious schools which will hire me for my qualifications rather than my passport.
That's great. And all our lives, we call it lives, but we are going to have one with Adiane. She's going to talk about some TOEFL, the proficiency test, and we try to talk like to match, our talks. And yes, the proficiency test is really important for English teachers, even when you don't have the degree in letters course. Don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still have to take my C2. That's the next mission. This is something that I still have to solve. But I've been taking a prep course, and yeah, this will be the year.
Okay, that's nice. And in the beginning, sorry for that, but in the beginning we didn't start recording immediately when we started here. So I will tell again about our.
Renata,
Yes.
sorry for interrupt you. Did you see that Henrique Zamboni has a question?
No, you can say.
Okay, Michele, Henrique Zamboni asks you, do you think adults see homework as something important? I mean, more than teenagers usually do?
I do think that, yes. I would say that because, well, teenagers, they tend, depending on their age too, because now I have students who are 13, 14, that they've already changed. They started studying with me when they were 11, 12, and now that they are 13, 14, they accept homework much better. So I think that adults, they expect us to assign homework, and teenagers, sometimes they have, well, sometimes it's unconscious, like, I know, come on, one more obligation, but not on purpose, and not I think it's just because they already have lots of things at school, but they also understand that this is part of the process. Well, at least I prefer to believe they understand. I talk to them about it. It's something that I think it's healthy to negotiate with students. They are part of that. They have to feel included. Like, we have to give them options as well. I think giving them options gets them happier about the whole thing. Like, okay, so I can choose. Well, as a group, you can do either this part or this one, and then they decide as a group. I like that.
That's great. We have here another question. In exchange program, you are learning more than English course.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid of, but I have to disagree here, because I think that it's not a matter of taking a course or an exchange program, but it's much more about your own interest and how many hours you dedicate to it, like reading the things you enjoy, watching the series you like, listening to your songs, reading all the things you can on blogs, and working on your English, no matter where you are and who you are with, finding the opportunities. You see? So no matter the context where you are, you will be able to find opportunities to study. I really think this way because when I went to New Zealand in 2014, I had been teaching for 4 years, so I was already teaching there, and you see, my fluency didn't depend on being on an English-speaking country, and this is it. Like, I think we create this atmosphere. I was surrounded by other people who were also learning English. And this we can easily find. In Brazil, there are many people who want to learn English. And also, we have billions of things for free on the internet, on YouTube, courses, so there's no excuse.
Yes. More questions? I think that's all. So yes. Tamara, she put here on the chat box our schedule, the link here for our next lives, and yes, if you want to have a look, we can create our opportunities. That's it. That's true, so. Lucienne. Yeah. So girls, do you have something else that you want to say? We have some more minutes. Tamara, Vera.
Yes, I guess, first of all, we would like to invite all of you guys to fill out our feedback form. It is important for us to have this evaluation, and also it is a way to confirm that you were present here. And we would like also to invite you to register for our next lives. So here I'm sending again the link. So here you can register for the next lives in the entire month. And I guess that's it. We do have another question, I guess, for Michelle.
And I love this one. I love this one. Thank you very much, Ilka. I think we have to do our to find our ways to prove ourselves better than these beliefs. So, yeah, I think that our pronunciation is beautiful. Like, we shouldn't worry so much about having this accent we do. And well, I like the idea of English as lingua franca. So I think I will be more useful for my students if I show them consonants that are more important than others, or some vowel sounds that have to be pronounced in a certain way, not to be misunderstood. So I think that when it comes to pronunciation, there are some things that are more important than others, connected speech. So yeah, and I see that the native speaker shouldn't be seen as a model, because who is this native teacher we're talking, or who is this native person we're talking about? Because the native person from South Africa will have an English which is different from the English from Canada, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. You see, so Trinidad and Tobago, Belize. So I don't think it's something correct to prefer an accent rather than another. Because we want to help our students to communicate with the whole world. Something that I asked my students sometimes, like, are you learning English to talk to people who live in the United Kingdom? Or are you learning English to talk to people from all over the world? Do you want to communicate with people from France, Germany, Portugal? You see, like Portugal, Mexico, South Africa. You want to communicate with people, no matter where they come from.
Yeah, Jen said accents are part of our identity.
Sure. And yes, we have beautiful accents.
That's true. That's a good talk for another live. That we can talk about that so much.
True.
That's really nice to talk about that. So we sent to you here in the chat box our feedback form. So if you want a certificate, please fill it up, and then we will know that you are here, and then we can give you the yes, I can resend you. So please fill it up, and then we can give you the certificate. You're welcome. English as a lingua franca. Yeah, Adriana is saying. That's true. We want to communicate with the world. Our students want to communicate with the world. Yeah. So I think that we have another question here, I think. What's your big challenge to teach teenagers? Are they usually lose the concentration? Do they lose the concentration?
I think discipline is always the most challenging thing, because how to deal with all that energy. So, yeah, but I prefer to think that I felt more and more comfortable about that, because I think the more we read about this topic, about discipline, the better we get about the way we deal with indiscipline, because we learn some strategies to make them feel more involved with the things that we've planned. And planning is key, huh? Because if students feel that you're lost, they will take advantage of that. Thank you, Nisi. But yeah, again, on this matter of pronunciation, I think what we have to show our students is that the most important thing is to be understood. And of course, pronunciation is always hand by hand with listening. So yeah, we have to help them. Of course, there are some sounds that are more relevant than others, not to be misunderstood. So yeah, we can teach them pronunciation in a way that will make them confident to speak and be understood, but not having a native from wherever as a model, but as a person who wants to communicate with people from different countries.
And also Maria Teresa, she's asking, is there any way to study for Cambridge exams, if you have any tips on that?
There on the website that I shared with you, I will share it again. There's a column just with pages. It's here. When you enter this website, you will see that I allocated a special part there for exams. So yeah, it's hard to prepare for an exam if you don't have a teacher who you trust a lot to give you feedback on writing. I think writing is the main part that you have to be careful, because we tend to like what we write. and then and then we won't see problems. But when you give it to another person, and if this person has experience in teaching for exams, well, you will be able to improve and to see the parts where you need some more help. So yeah, I think, well, studying on your own is essential, of course, but having a teacher to give you feedback on writing is also very nice.
Yes, that's great. And we have here another question from Educação em Ação. What are the sounds more difficult for teenagers to learn? TH, pronounce R, and the final words?
And you see, this is curious, huh? Because here where I am, Spanish speakers, they have different problems. So for Brazilian students, there's a sound that they generally put after consonants at the end of words. But here in Spain, they have a different issue. They tend to put a vowel in front of letter S, for example. Instead of saying Spain, they will say Spain. You see, like school, they will say school, things like that. So it depends on where you are. According to Lingua Franca, the TH sound is not that serious. I'm sorry for disappointing you on that, but according to research, huh? Yeah, because we tend to worry about TH a lot. Well, of course, there are certain contexts in which if you use these letters, there are the minimal pairs, for example, but context will always help. So the listener will also understand the context, and then by that, the person will be able to identify which one you're saying. To teach a specific standard English. this is an interesting question because I work with material that was created by British publishers. So, but I don't have a British accent. So sometimes I have to explain that to my students. In order to be understood, sometimes I say the strong T, not the flat, the one from American English, for example, because the word water, for example. If I say water to my young learners, they might feel confused. So sometimes I have to say water because they will. So it depends on who is listening. So yeah, this even the standard English, right? We can talk to our students about the sounds that are more common sense, I believe. And also, I think it's positive to mention the differences. So we will, ah, and talking about that, it's nice when you take listening material from different speakers from different countries. So you don't always get American speakers to our classes, but you also take people from, I don't know, like German people are talking English. Why not? You see? Um, there were some very beautiful videos now during the quarantine. Chinese children teaching people how to wash their hands, and they were recording in English. You see, people in Sweden, they have very nice videos talking in English. So I think we have to encourage this kind of listening. We're listening to English, global English. I like this idea.
So Michelle, thank you very much. Now we are finishing. It's finishing our time. So thank you very much for being here with
Thank you
us.
all.
Thank you all. Like we have almost we have 52 people now, and we kept this amount of people, yeah, during all the talk. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I wish we can be together again another moment. And Vera and Tamara, do you want to say something? Bye, at least.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Vera, you go.
Okay, I just want to thank you, Michelle, and say it was a
Thank
real
you.
pleasure. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, really. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the
Thank you,
invitation. It was
Michelle.
lovely. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, I think the first thing we have is a lot of thanks to Michelle. It was an honor to have you here. And also,
My
thanks to all
pleasure.
of you guys, teachers, professors, students, other education professionals who were here and participating from the beginning until the end. Thank you very much for participating. And also, we would like to invite you. Next Thursday, we have another one. You can apply, you can register on the links we have sent you in the chat. We can send the link again so you can register for the next lives. And also, again, please fill out the feedback form so that we can evaluate our sessions. It is important for us to see your opinion and also to receive suggestions for future lives. So it is important to know what you want and what you need. So please help us with that, and also to confirm that you're here so we can give you certificates.
Well,
Yes.
I told them how they can find me on Instagram because I forgot to do it before. Sorry. So I'll write it here very fast. I'm sorry.
Yes, please. People want to talk to you later, maybe.
It would be a pleasure. Here it is.
Thank
This
you
is my
very much.
Instagram account.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much for students, teachers, colleagues, everyone who's here until the end. Thank you very much.
We should like take a picture,
Yeah.
for closure. So
Wait.
if you guys want to show your faces, now's the time. to share your screens. I mean, your faces, your video, your screens. Imagine that. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. I took 2. Do you want more? I guess that's okay. So I guess that's it.
Yes.
We're good for now. We're gonna share later on our Instagram, Facebooks, and Twitter, and whatever other social network we have.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye,
You
guys.
Thank you. Thank you very
wonderful.
much. Thank you. Let's keep in touch.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.